Hello, hello, welcome to Mindset to Results. And today our guest is amazing Malti Patel. She is a spiritual transformational guide, helping people to manifest what they want in our life. And as you guessed, the topic of our podcast is how you can manifest everything what you want in life by raising your vibration. Hi, Malti.
Hey, hi, Elena. Great to meet you. Nice. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you are most welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you found your, that spirituality with you and your passion to dedicate your life to
Mhm.
help people to raise their vibration and manifest what they want in life?
Yeah, so my background is actually in IT. Okay, so I'm from an IT background, and I was living in Sydney a few years ago. Well, quite a few years ago now, before the internet. So I was living in Sydney. I was having a great time. I had a great job, had great friends, and Sydney's a fabulous place to live. So everything was fine. And I had enough money to go out, pay the bills, nothing, no problems. But I felt something was missing. It felt like there must be more to life than this. It can't just be this. And one weekend, I was at the beach with my friends, a beautiful sunny day, and I was just walking on the beach on the sand. And I kind of said in my head, or I might have said out loud, I might have just said, if there's something else out there, please show me, because I felt there must be something more. And then it's funny, like the very next week when I was at work, I just happened to go into a bookshop and I was looking at the books. And the book that really stood out was Wayne Dyer's book, You'll See It When You Believe It. And I had never, ever read anything like that. And I just felt very drawn to read that book, to buy it.
Mhm.
And that basically sent me on this whole spiritual path. I started to do meditation. I read everything in mind, body, and spirit. And it really that was the missing piece. That connection to my spiritual aspect was the missing piece. That's why I didn't feel quite complete. And I think what I've realized with working with manifestation with angels is that you can create a fabulous life for yourselves if you know how to start to harness your thoughts, how to connect to spirit, the universe, and so on. So that's kind of my story. I went from my IT into meditation and spiritual transformation.
Such a huge shift. Yeah, like
Yeah.
180 degrees.
Yeah, it's like IT is very, very logical, but spirituality is very heart-based.
Yes, yes, very interesting, very interesting. Yes, you just said that I was just thinking about this morning. I was speaking with my friend, and she told me, Elena, you have to show more about your life, like when you show up on social media. People don't know like what you went through, that you were millionaire and then you were not fulfilled, and then how you lost everything. And this is story that really make people connected, and it took me to the time, yes, when I was making big money, like
Mhm.
big money every week. I had money, but I was so empty. Like
Yes, yes.
if you asked me what was my goal, I wouldn't say. I could say like, oh, buy one next house or
Yeah,
do something like investment, because this is what I was doing. I was, in one hand, I was getting money, and I already knew that the same day where I will invest.
yeah.
What I was doing, like it is just like a some treadmill. You just run,
Yes,
run,
yes.
run, and you like when somebody asks you where you are running,
You don't
you
know.
think that you are running, but actually you are not. And then this is one day you just start asking your questions like, why do you live?
Yes, why? Yeah.
Yes, this is why they start bringing that spiritual part on the surface, because initially when people don't have enough material things, they think that that money is happiness. They think that, oh, when I make that amount, I will be
Yes.
happy. And then no, that moment comes, and they automatically start thinking, oh, that is not something. Oh, when I will do the next, then I will
Yes,
be
that's
happy.
right.
Yes, and
When
this.
it comes to buying something, you can always buy more and more and more, but it
Mhm.
doesn't fulfill you. You know, you might feel happy for 5 minutes, but then what can I buy next? What's next? And so I think there's a kind of void, then it's a spiritual aspect that starts to fill the void, working with the universe. And you can use it to create a fabulous life for yourself as well, which is, what we all want.
Yes, amazing. So tell us a little bit from your journey. After you found that book, you read that book, and you understand that there is something missing in your life and that you want to develop and discover that
Yeah.
mind. And how did it work for you with what you started?
So I think I think I was like everybody. I didn't really believe there was a universe or a God or anything like that. So reading the books made me start to realize actually there is something out there that wants to help you. I started meditating, which I like, but I also started to work on myself because it was all about, you need to, if you like, raise your vibration. I mean, we're always thinking, we're always feeling, and all of these feelings and thoughts have a vibration, they have a kind of frequency. And from the books, it's like you have to start to try and be more positive, to be in a state of gratefulness, learning about the fact that actually everything's connected. Everybody and everything is connected. That was another big thing I learned. I think when you're in our bodies, we think we're very separate to everybody, but we're not. There's energies around us connecting us to everything. So I suppose I learned the whole world, we're all connected. And, once you start to realize that the universe wants to help you, you can start to train your mind, your thoughts, your feelings to connect to the universe and start to create a really good life for yourself and whatever you want, basically.
Yes, yes, this is discovering that potential which everyone has, but
Yes.
unfortunately, not many people use. Yes, because
No.
the early day conditioning, because we were
Yes.
conditioned to start like everything see just from these five senses. Yes,
Yes.
ability to see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. It is like antennas through which
Yes.
we receive information, and this is what we learn. We just learn to receive information from these sources, physical reality, and we don't
Right.
know anything more than that. And so it takes really understanding that we are not only body, we are not only the physical, like
No.
eyes, ears, our senses. We are much more, and this is what comes to understanding and discovering the mind and its
Yes.
potential. So share please with us what you discovered about mind.
I suppose what I discovered is it's like I think we're always I think we all kind of know we're more than our senses. Sometimes you hear the phone ring and you know who it is, or you're thinking of somebody and suddenly they text you. So I think we kind of, and when we meet new people, sometimes we think, oh, I'm not sure about that person, or we have a gut feeling about things. So we already have it. It's just that we're taught to kind of ignore it. And so this reading on the spiritual thing, it's more like, no, your gut feeling is the truth. That is your intuition. So go with the gut because that is correct. Ignore your logical mind. And I learned that everybody's connected, and it's about knowing that you're actually kind of much more than your senses, and that yeah, it was about learning that intuition is real, that you can interact with people, you can smile at them and they'll kind of interact with you better. So it's all about learning that interconnectedness and using it to create a great life.
Yes, yes, you mentioned intuition, and also we have other high mental faculties, such as memory, for example. People use memory only for past, yes, to remember
Yes.
things which happened in the past, but we can also create memory from the future, yes,
Yes.
and use our imagination to
Yeah.
start thinking what we want to create and create those memories and live in those memories
Oh
in.
yeah. I mean, you got creative visualization meditation, and that is all about you have a goal, whatever it is. Maybe it's to be your ideal weight, to have your fabulous, fantastic job. And in that creative visualization, you put yourself there, your ideal weight, you're on the beach, you're in a bikini, you're looking fabulous, and you start to let those feelings come into you. And that's how manifestation works, because it's the opposite. Once you know you've reached your goal, sorry, the universe will start to send you ideas on how to reach that goal, basically. So, sorry, guys. So yeah, it's very much, yeah, it's like you connect to your future self. Your future self is out there, and you can connect to that future self who's having your ideal life, living your goal, and you start to bring it towards you. So I know what you mean about memory. past and future, they're all kind of going on now, really.
Mhm. Yes, yes. And you mentioned about the feelings. Yes, and this is the key. Feeling
Yes.
is the key. And Neville Goddard even wrote the book, Feelings is the Secret.
Yes.
Yes, because our body, what we call feelings, is our, how we named the frequency which our body is in. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the frequency which our body is in determines our actions, and then actions cause reaction, and this is how
Yeah.
we create our results. So let's speak a little bit more about this.
Yeah, actually, one thing I learned, Elena, is I kind of learned that not to see my body, but to see myself as an energy. And when you can see yourself as an energy more than a body, then you start to realize that, if you can raise your energy with better feelings, better thoughts, then you start to attract better things into your life. And I also have this analogy that I've written about in our book. It's called the feeling elevator. So let's say you have a goal, whatever it is, to find your ideal job with a great salary, and this goal is manifested on the 12th floor of a building. Okay, so all you got to do is get into the feeling elevator, hit the 12th button, and when you get to the 12th floor, your absolutely fantastic job is there. You'll just step onto the 12th floor, and it will be manifested, right? So you get into the elevator and you look around, but there's no buttons. There are no buttons in the elevator. It will only go up with your feelings. So as long as your feelings are positive and you know that you're going to get that ideal job, the lift will go up and up and up to the 12th floor. But like most of us, when we're trying to reach a goal after 2 or 3 weeks, the doubts come in, the worries come in, and so the elevator starts to go down again. And I think that's how we manifest. We go up and down as our feelings go, yes, I'm going to be, get that ideal job. No, I don't think I'll get it. And so when you want to manifest something, it's always about trying to stay in that high vibration of, you're going to get the job you're doing, staying as positive as you can and not letting the doubts and the fears creep in, because that's when your manifestation starts to go away. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, such a wonderful example. And this is what you illustrated is so easy to see as a picture, and we think in pictures. Yes.
Yeah.
When you have this elevator in your mind, you already can remind yourself every time if just doubt or worry comes, you just say, "Oh, I am in elevator. I
Yes.
have to just
Yeah.
go up."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what I've learned is it's almost like you have to start to observe your thoughts
Mhm.
and try very hard when the doubts come in to just kind of cancel them or kind of just get them away and go back to that positivity as much as you can, which is why I always say like people talk a lot about the gratitude exercise. Just think of 3 things that you're grateful for every day. And to me, it's like a really easy thing to do, and it slowly starts to change your mindset so that your brain starts to look for things to be grateful for. So it's simple things like that can start to make you kind of get more positive, basically.
Yes, very good exercise, because this is how we condition our brain, rewire
Yeah.
our brain to be positive and look for good instead of bad. Yes,
Yes.
because when we create this habit, even if something happens that we don't like or maybe outside of our control, having that habit will help us to keep positive, to keep calm, to be reasonable, not react, but response. Yeah, so it will really, in time, it will help
Mm.
much in different aspects.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot, and I did the exercises, right, and I wrote down for 30 days. Every day I wrote down 10 things I'm grateful for, and it can be the same thing. But I do notice now that if a stressful thing happens in my life, I don't immediately go into, I don't kind of shut down. I don't go into fear. I'm more like, I'm very much calmer, and I can I can, if it's stressful, I can, if you like, work through it in a much better, peaceful way. And I think that's all because I've worked so hard on this sort of like, okay, stay positive, focus on gratitude, and your whole mind starts to just shift automatically. After, yeah, after a while, it will just shift.
Yes, it is true. And I really like that 10 reasons to be grateful to find every day, and they should be different every day. What it
Yeah.
makes our brain, we start like expanding, yeah, because we've 5, 6 we write, and then 7, 8, 9 we put
Yes.
effort to look
Yes.
for the reason, and this is how this activity to look for the reason, it becomes habitual. So in
Yes.
negative situation, we already created that, developed those habits. So it is not very easy to put us in negative, because we
That's
have
right.
like muscles. Yes, we build those mental muscles which hold us strong. Whatever happens, we like that. Building which is built
Yes.
on the strong foundation, and wind blows, like whatever, it's,
Yeah. You're
yeah,
strong.
yes,
Right.
strong, or like the tree with very deep roots.
Yes.
It is what this exercise gives. It is really a very powerful technique, although it can look like, oh, something like not very much, right?
Yeah, I think because I think with gratitude, it's like you can look back at your childhood or, the exams you passed, the awards you won, because, I think sometimes we're always looking ahead, aren't we? We don't think, hey, I achieved that when I was, 10, or I did that when I was 20. We were always like, what's next? What's next? And so when you do gratitude, it's more like, hey, I'm grateful for the things that happened in the past. And you start to realize you've actually achieved a lot more than you think. And so it all kind of builds upon your self-esteem, your self-worth. And again, yeah, you just start to feel more positive about things.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned that, because it is not only positive things that happened in the past that we have to be grateful for, even negative things, because negative things,
Yeah.
they made us come out of our those
Yes.
patterns. Yes, like they shaked us, and we start thinking, oh, like what is going on? Oh, like, and we start awakening. Yes, so in many cases, those negative things helped you to become who you are now. And
Yeah,
if it didn't
absolutely.
happen, yeah, if it didn't happen, it wouldn't happen. You wouldn't be here.
I mean, they say, there's no such thing as failure. Every failure you learn from. It's like a lesson on how to do it better next time, or what can I change. So don't ever feel bad if you think you've failed, because you haven't. You've just learned something that you can then reframe, redo the next time, do it in a different way and see what happens. So yeah, it's like the strength you have now is from all the past lessons that you've had to learn from as well.
Yes, yes. And you are today the person you are just because of those lessons. And this is
Yeah.
what we can be grateful for. And important that if that was a situation that was negative, you think negative, but of course everything has positive and negative. So you, from one perspective, it can be negative today, but when you look at it 5 years, in 5 years back, you will say, oh, so good that happened. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I will never do that and that helped me to become that, right?
that's right. Because I think we're always growing, aren't we? And especially if you're listening to podcasts like this, your self-development, you want to grow. So it's all about just realizing that you have strength inside you. You can overcome difficulties, and to be grateful for the fact that you have that strength and you're always building on it.
Yes, definitely. So let's speak a little bit about manifestation. Yes,
Yeah.
because as our topic is manifest everything what you want by raising vibrations. So let's speak how we can raise those vibrations. Yes, and how we can manifest.
Yeah, so basically, your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings play a massive part in manifestation. So if you have a belief that money is the root of all evil or anything like that, then it's going to be very hard for you to be financially abundant, because that belief will stop lots of money coming into your life. And so I think what we need to realize is that our beliefs are put into our minds from the ages of 0 to 7 by our parents, our guardians, our carers. And so we kind of grow up with the beliefs of the adults around us, which might not always be great. Okay. And so we're always manifesting the beliefs given to us by people when we were young. And so if you look at your life and you haven't got the amount of money you want or the right relationship, there's a belief inside your subconscious mind that is blocking that from manifesting. So when I talk about manifestation, it's always, first of all, look at your limiting beliefs. So anything with relationships, with money, with jobs, what sort of limiting beliefs do you have? Do you believe you can't earn £100,000 or dollars? Why don't you believe that? Because this is what's stopping you from manifesting. So I have written a book. It's called Manifesting from the Soul. And in there, I talk about how to find your limiting beliefs, how to then kind of change them through affirmations to start being more positive. Because if you think about it, if you get rid of the belief that money is the root of all evil, and then you have a belief that, money is abundant and everybody in the world can have lots of money, you're actually changing your vibration completely so that money starts to flow into you. Because you've got to remember that we're all magnets and our thoughts and feelings are magnets. And if we can start to feel that we're abundant, it will start to flow into your life. So manifesting is about realizing that we're always manifesting on default, always. Okay. Even right now, you're listening to this, whoever's listening to this, you are manifesting, but you're manifesting from your old beliefs and the thoughts and feelings you have now. And if you don't like what you see in your life, you have to start working on your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, to start to change them, to change that manifestation. Do you see what I mean? To change your vibration.
Yes, to become aware of your self-talk, what you say to yourself on everyday basis. And
Yeah,
it is good if you start catching those thoughts and write
yeah,
them. And you
that's right.
can see that every day there are the same thoughts, the same patterns. It is like
Yeah,
a tape recording. Yes, like tape is recorded and it just goes on that loop and that's all. And this is what you get. And some people tell like, oh, like why this happens with me again and again, the same situation. Yes, of course, because if you don't change, this is what you will
yes,
continuously attract. And this is,
yes,
you will see different people, different physical bodies, but the situation will be very
yeah,
similar. Yes, and this is a very good exercise to be observant, like study yourself.
yes.
You think on daily basis, write that, and you see what those patterns of thinking and
Mm,
actions, habits. And when you start studying yourself, then you can see,
yes,
okay, this is what the negative, how can I turn it around and make it 180-degree polar opposite and right opposite, and this is what will become your mantras. So
yes, it's
instead
true.
of saying those negatives, you start repeating what is opposite. Yes, and you can even burn those negatives just
Yes,
symbolically to
yes,
let it go, just energetically, just disrupt
yes,
them and start reading this. And where your energy flows,
yeah,
energy goes. Yes, like
that's right.
attention, what you focus goes, energy flows. So where
Yes,
is your focus? When you initially it will be, you will have to take effort because those
mm,
negative they just already run autopilot. You
yeah,
totally effortless. But to create new, you have to put efforts initially. But when you do this 30 days, 60 days, 90 days,
yeah, yeah.
these will become your new automatic patterns, and this is how your results will start to change.
Yeah, I think people, it's like going to the gym. If you want to lose weight or get fit, you need to go to the gym a month at a time. It's the same with this looking at your thoughts. Your mind it's like the gym for the mind. Analyze your thoughts. It can take weeks, it can take months, but just like going to the physical gym and changing your body, getting more toned, once you start to analyze your thoughts, you'll start to change your life. You'll start to create different things. So it does take effort, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely.
Yes, when you start changing within, yeah, your
Yeah.
thoughts, your habits, the way you feel, this is
Yes.
how the physical reality will start reflect different. It is like a mirror. Yes, because we
Yes.
come to the mirror and if we see something spot on our face, we will start cleaning mirror and say, "Oh, mirror, why you show me that spot?" Right?
That's true, right? Yeah, absolutely.
But this is what people think. Like this is
Yes.
how people live. They something happens and they automatically start blaming people,
Yes.
government, economy, whatever, but they never look at themselves. But when you
Yes.
understand that this world is just a simulation of what is going inside, it is
Yeah.
reflected according to the laws. Yes,
Yep.
there is a law of perpetual transmutation of energy.
Yeah.
It's like what we create in our mind, the way how we think, it is energy, right?
It is.
And when we think the same again, it is like we create a density. Yeah, like or
Yes.
density, yeah. So it's like density, it become density like thick in
Yeah.
energetical field, and by the law, it must to take physical form. And this
Yes.
is how everything is manifested.
Yeah. I think people don't like to think, gosh, my voice. People don't like to think I've manifested that bad situation, but unfortunately you have. And so if you can just start to, if you see yourself as an energy, start to change the vibration of your thoughts and feelings to be higher, you will change the situations in your life. You have to. There's no other way. The universe, as you say, is reflecting what you're thinking and feeling. And if you're thinking and feeling gratefulness and positivity, the universe is going to give you that. Sorry about my voice.
Yes, yes. So we learned today a lot. Yes, about manifesting. We spoke about gratefulness, about understanding the feelings. Where should our feelings be? That very good example with elevator. Just think that you cannot afford to be in negative state. Otherwise, you will
Yeah,
do
it just goes
again
down.
to zero. So all these efforts which you were getting to
Yeah,
the 5 level,
yeah,
you get angry, you get again, go back to
yeah.
zero, start
I
again.
know.
So if you think like that, so it means that you cannot afford to be angry or in negative mode because you want to go up, you have
Yes.
your goal. Yes,
Yeah.
so this is be observant of yourself, understand that you are in control. When you start thinking about this, you will not let outside things to dictate how you feel because you have goal, you know that you have to be in that energy which is aligned with your goal because this is only the way how you can achieve it. And when you become conscious about your feelings and you don't allow anything to get you down, this is how you will see the changes in your results.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely. And everybody can do it. I want everybody to know you are all worthy and deserving of doing this. So give yourself permission to change your mindset because you all can.
Yes, thank you so much, Malti. It was such a great conversation. I appreciate, and it is I was feeling like we are in symphonic orchestra. That it is so what you said. It was resonating, and with
Yes,
like
in
play
harmony.
that music. We have played
No,
music in this episode, and I definitely want to meet you again so we can
yes.
discuss this further because it is such a great, amazing topic, and really people who
Yeah.
are listening to
I
us.
think I think I just want everybody to empower themselves and know they can create the best life because everybody can. And so yeah, I love talking about this. And it's great to meet you, Elena. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. The same. So check out for more episodes with Malti. We are going to create more soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, Malti. Enjoy your day.